Check it out, guys. I just got this hand warmer power bank, and I'm a really big fan of these electric hand warmers because then I don't have to spend a lot of money rebuying all of those disposable ones. And this came as a 2-pack. Let's check it out. So this right here, some of the features are an LED display with the heat level, a digital display with your remaining power, for example, so there's your 100%. 4 levels of temperature, side and double-sided heating, so one side or the other side can heat or both at once, and it goes up to 131 degrees Fahrenheit, so the range is 100 to 131 degrees, and we'll show you guys what came in the box. I got the orange ones because I like to take these hunting with me because it gets really cold out there, but they also work well like if you're traveling in cold environments, you're walking around the city of Chicago, for example, or wherever. But these hand warmers have a lot of different kinds of uses to use. You can throw them in your range bag, for example, keep your ammo warm when you're shooting in the cold. So it comes with 2 of these, comes with 2 of these lanyards, power charger or cable, just the cable, no power block, but they are USB-C to USB-C. And an instruction manual. So I already pre-charged these. That's why they're kind of already open. Now, when I received these, they were at 49%. So it took about a couple hours to get them to 100%. And let's go ahead and take this off the front there so you can kind of see what I've got going on here. So we'll go over what we see so far on this small little hand warmer here. We've got the power button here, USB-C, USB-A, because you can charge your own phone with this or charge something because this can act like a power bank. And you have a little bit of a flashlight there and a temperature button. Let's look at the manual here. This also goes over the buttons as well. And where you want to put your lanyard is down at the bottom. So the USB-C is an input only. USB output here, USB-A is the output, the only thing you get there. And for instructions here, let's go ahead and turn it on here. So we'll go ahead and tap it once. You can actually see how much percent you have left. It was 100 earlier. Hold down for a couple seconds and you can see it says L1. Now L1, L2, L3, or L4 is for single-sided heating, and I can immediately start to feel the back of this getting quite warm or a little bit warm. And so once you turn it on and you're at L1, just hit this temperature button to cycle through the different levels of heating that you want. L1, L2, L3, and L4. And then if you want double-sided heating, so that you want this side to heat as well, not just the back, just hold down that power button until you see H1. And then the same thing, H1, H2, H3, H4. So you'll get double-sided heating on the H and single-sided on the L. Let's go ahead and turn it off. And you can see that temperature was already at 96% for that little bit of time. So it drained about 4% already on those settings that I had. And let's show you guys how to turn on this flashlight here. So you got to double hit the power button and you can see that it's a little bit of a yellowish light, a warm light, not a cool color temperature. It's not super bright. Let's go ahead and turn the lights off and maybe kind of see how bright this actually is. Okay, so it's not super bright, but let's see if we can read a manual. So you can see it does illuminate here and there. I think it's a kind of a quick light if you really need something in an emergency, but if you really want to shine light somewhere out in pure darkness, out in the woods or something, it might not be the best, but it gives you something here maybe to find something in your pockets or something close by. So it could come in handy because like if you're out in the woods and you're hunting, for example, you don't really want super bright light to kind of blind you or spook off any kind of animals or anything like that. Okay, so to turn it off, hit the power button twice and it goes off. Now that didn't drain the battery too much, so you should probably get a lot of light out of the battery that comes with it. So what I want to do real quick is actually turn it on, and we're going to let L1 heat up, and I have a thermal imager that I like to test the temperature reading on this because it says that for L1 or H1, either side, you're going to get between 100.4 to 107.6 Fahrenheit. So let's see where we're at. We're at L1, so we're just going to measure the backside here. This is my thermal imager. We'll go ahead and turn that on. There we go. And let's see if I get a reading here. You might not be able to see it on screen, but right now it's showing 126 degrees Fahrenheit at its hottest point right there. And if I'm going around over here, we're about 110. So in the middle, it gets hotter, but I'm sure it's like spreading it out over there. So we are at, check it again. Now it's kind of dropped down to 115 actually. So we're a little bit higher than what it says, about 7 degrees higher than what it says it's supposed to be. Now it's at 120. See if it keeps getting warmer, but it's kind of stabilizing there around 114. So maybe it heats up a little bit, kind of slows down and lets it kind of dissipate a little bit and heats up again. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and try L2, temperature button. Now we're at L2. L2 says that we should be between 109 to 114. So again, this is at a full charge. So could be that once you start draining it, it gets back into those temperatures that it says it's supposed to be at. So right now we're at 127, 128 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're still a little bit higher. We're about 14 degrees higher and we're about 120. So maybe 6 to 10 degrees hotter than what it says on L2. Let's go to L3. Let it heat up a little bit. L3 says that it should be at 116 to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. So we've let that heat up a little bit more. Let's see what it says. It's going up 128, 129, 130, 135, 136. So we're at the hottest 137 that I see there. And yep, it's feeling hot. Let's go ahead and do L4. And L4 says that you should be between 123.8 to 131 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're already exceeding the temperature that you should be getting on the hottest setting. Let's see where we go on L4. We're at 138 right now, 139, 140. Oh, it is getting hot. I'm sure out in the wintertime that would feel really good. So let's see how hot this gets. Could show it to you guys like this maybe. So you see down at the bottom middle of my thermal imager, we're at 141 degrees, for example. It's kind of hard to hold two things at once with this to get a good reading. Let's put it back down and see if I got anything hotter than 140. So 140 seems to be the hottest. Let's see if things change when you do both sided. So we're on H1. We'll go to H4 just to see what happens. Let that warm up a little bit. Basically what I want to see is that if we have both sides on, then does that kind of affect the overall temperature and bring it back into the specs that it mentions in the manual? So if you had one single-sided heating, maybe it does heat up hotter than what it says because it's just only one side that's putting out all the heat. But if you do both sides, let's see what happens. All right, this gets warm pretty fast. So we're already, let's see, we're on H4. Right now it's showing 120 and it's still climbing. I'm expecting to at least see 123 to 131 Fahrenheit. So both sides are heating and we are showing 128 degrees Fahrenheit right now, 129 now, 132. So all right, we're already exceeded H4's max temperature of 131 because now we're at 134 degrees. And it could be getting even hotter than what it says because now both sides are heating. So I'm not really sure, but both are showing exceeding temperatures than what the manual says. So, I mean, honestly, I guess that's good. You get more than what you paid for. And we'll put this away now. Let's go quickly over some of these here. So product parameters, by the way, so one of these is 7,000 milliamp hours. So if you have two of these, you'll be able to charge a phone technically for about 14,000 milliamp hours, which is quite a respectable time. So charging time from 0, 3 to 4 hours. Like I said, when I was at 50%, 49%, it did take a couple of hours. So that makes sense around there if you had a fully dead battery. The output here, if you're trying to charge something, is going to give you a maximum of 2 amps out. And these weigh only about 138 grams according to this. And let's go over some of the tips here so you guys are aware. Please charge once every 2 months when the product is not in use for a long time. So if you're storing it, make sure you have to charge it if you can remember to do that, which I don't always. And let's see, do not use this. So don't use this in the heating function if you're trying to charge. That makes sense because batteries get warm when you're charging. And then make sure you're using a charger with an output current of 5 volts / 2 amps or higher for charging, and use a standard USB-C cable. So it's good that they give you what they recommend. And then basically the warnings here. If you have any problems or questions, you can go ahead and email them and they should be able to help you guys out. I haven't had any issues with these, but overall, I'm going to tell you guys, I like these. I got the orange. They come in different other colors. I think black and gray maybe, but these orange ones really stand out to me. They fit great in your pockets, your pants pockets or your jacket pockets in the wintertime or whenever you need a little extra warmth. They're not super heavy, but they do have some weight. Cool little features here. I do like that you have a separate temperature button because a lot of these hand warmers are kind of confusing on how to use when you just get one button, but here you got it pretty straightforward with turning it on or off or pressing once just to get a battery percentage reading and pressing twice to get the light on. USBs make sense as far as plugging them in. And then what's great is that you can just keep pressing one temperature button to cycle through and then long press to get back to the other mode. Everything seems pretty straightforward and the LCD screen is pretty good so that you know what setting you have it on and things like that. Some other ones, you just get LED indicators and it's kind of hard to see what you're in, how much your battery percentage is, or what level you're in. So overall, pretty excited and happy for these. I probably won't use them as power banks because I use other things for that, and these will just be dedicated hand warmers. If you guys would like to pick something up like this, I'll leave a link in the description. You guys can go there and check it out and see for yourselves. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys like this video. Go ahead and pick you guys up some of these cool little hand warmers.